Hello guys, since I played Diablo 3 so much lately, I thought I might as well talk about the patches and changes to the game. And today, we got Diablo Patch 1.0.2b-v.1.0.2.9950. Man, I wish they'd make these things smaller, don't you think? Anyway, there are a lot of minor changes to this. The first one was that the cancel button, which appears in the login checkbox, will no longer be available for 30 seconds after you put in your username and your password. And that's more of a load server end thing for them, not necessarily the player. It doesn't add anything to your game. It just adds it easier for them so they don't get overloaded at one time, especially when they patch the game. The next update they did was a cool thing for the auction house. They finally allowed damaged goods to be sold on the auction house. And one of the cool things about that is when you buy a damaged good, a damaged item in the auction house, once you've completed the transaction, when you receive the item, it will be repaired if you buy it. So it's kind of cool that you can buy a damaged item. If someone will just sell it cheaper because they say it's damaged, it's not worth anything. But when you receive it, it's repaired, so it's not damaged anymore. But for the person selling it, if they don't sell the item, then obviously it stays damaged on their end, so there's no way for them to sell it and then get it back repaired. Obviously, unless they pay for it, get it repaired. The other thing they did, they added a bunch of descriptions on auction house, messages, which, let's be honest, the auction house still has a lot of bugs in it. They're a long way from getting it perfect. They're still working on that, obviously. The only thing they said about Mac updates was that there were several Mac bug fixes. They didn't actually go into detail what those fixes were that they did today. And then another one that I think is not necessarily a good thing is that in multiplayer you're no longer able to skip acts in the multiplayer game, which to me kind of ruins the fun. Is if you were to complete the single player game, why don't you get your friends decide we like just this act and we just want to play in this act and this act alone? So now you can't skip through acts anymore. I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. And then another bug fix had to do with the Barbarian class today, which was they fixed the bugs allowing certain Barbarian skills to continuously trigger each other's critical strikes, to the point of causing the player to crash. And to address this crash, the following skill and rune combinations can no longer be triggered by each other's critical strikes. And the first one was Battle Rage and the skill rune Bloodshed together. That caused one. Cleave and the skill rune Rupture and skill rune Scattering Blast. Hammer the Ancients and skill rune Thunderstrike. And lastly, Wrath of the Berserker and skill rune Slaughter. So all those combinations have now been made sure that stuff can't trigger this anymore, which is a bad thing. That's not a good thing anytime anybody crashes off a game, let's be honest here. And then the last thing they did today was monsters who are charmed by Enchantress skill Mass Confusion can no longer kill event NCPs in the game. And these are all most of this stuff is just obviously stuff they learned along the way after people played, since it's online all the time. And the damaged good things was by far, I think, the best thing in this update. And of course, the now allowing you to skip acts in multiplayer, I think, is the worst thing. But that was just a quick update. I know they just released the notes for update in the near future 1.0.3, and they also said at the end of this little patch notes that in update 1.1, they're going to do major character changes, whatever that means to the classes. So I'll talk to you guys about the next patch in the future. So I'll see you guys then.